right, we're back. It is another night in the garage working on the first gen 4runner. I am currently still waiting on parts, so I'm going to continue to work on everything that I can. Because I do plan on repainting the truck as well as doing some rust repair, I'm just gonna go ahead and start sanding the driver's side down. There's some rust spots on the top of the bed right here, as well as in the corners. And to make those rust repairs, I'm gonna need it down to metal anyways. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do not want it to stay this color. I started trying to peel these stickers off last night. They've definitely been on the truck forever and been baked in by the sun. They are not coming off too easily. As soon as I heat them up and try to peel them or anything, they just kind of chip and disintegrate. So I'm gonna do my best to get the stickers off as well. So yeah, I'm gonna turn some music on. I got the diesel heater firing up over in the corner, and we're gonna start some sanding. All right, it's been an hour or so, definitely making a dent in the driver's side of the truck. Really what's holding me up the most is getting these old crusty stickers off the truck. Even when I got all the sticker off of the bed, sanding over that old adhesive was not that fun. And there's even more stickers on the driver door. And then I gotta repeat this process on the passenger side. So I'm gonna go get some thicker grit sandpaper and then a little razor blade scraper. I'm not too concerned with messing up paint, scraping these stickers off, because I'm gonna sand it down and repaint it anyways. So I'm gonna get some better tools to get this part of the job done. Once I go and pick that stuff up, we'll jump back into it. All right, it's the next night. I just got home from work. I have some extra hands with me tonight. Callus is gonna be here helping me do some sanding. I had like 5 people reach out to me because I posted a little video on Instagram of me trying to remove these stickers off the door, and they were all like, dude, get a rubber eraser wheel for your drill. I went and looked at the Home Depot right down the street from my house, and they didn't have one, and I did not feel like driving any further to go and look for one. So I'm just gonna keep peeling it off how I've been doing it with a razor blade and then sand it all down. But yeah, just went and picked up some more sanding supplies, and we're gonna get into it. All right, it's about 7:30. We've been sanding for, I don't know, like an hour and a half now. It was definitely super helpful to have Callus over here. We honestly got a ton of of the body sanding done tonight. So while I was removing stickers on the driver door and then starting to sand all that down, Callus went ahead and started the driver's side fender, got the hood all sanded down, got most of the roof done without, you know, taping around any of the trim or the sunroof. All that's really left is details as far as like rocker panel and some of the body lines where we didn't fully get in there and sand all that out just yet. But yeah, really all that's left is those little details and then the passenger side and the tailgate. I do need to do a little bit more tear down before I do any paint. I'm not super concerned with getting it painted right away, but obviously I'll tear out all the grill, all the corner lights, try to take some of the trim off. I know this stuff is pretty fragile, so I might just end up taping around it. We'll see when we get to that point. But I may just do all of that stuff if I'm still waiting on parts. Leave it all taped up for the final coats of paint. We'll see. I don't really have a real plan for this thing. We're just kind of playing it by ear, doing a little bit one night at a time, seeing how we feel when we get home from work. Like I said, I get home from work at like 5 o'clock, so a couple hours every night honestly adds up after being at work for 10 hours every day. I think we're going to call it a night, go inside, get cleaned up, make some dinner, and we will swing back tomorrow night. All right, back to it. It is Friday night. I am all alone tonight. I'm going to try to get the truck over into the middle of the garage and start sanding down the passenger side. Hopefully get all of that side done tonight. All right, this is night 4 of sanding the truck down. All in all, with the night that Callus came and helped me sand, I'm probably a good 8-9 hours worth of sanding in, and we're super close. I'd say it's like 90% done. I just need to do some details in like the body lines, and then basically the bottom of the doors and the rocker panel area, and then get the tailgate finished up. Once I get sanding done, I'll go ahead and wipe down the whole truck, try to get all the dust off of everything. Realistically, it's probably getting a rattle can paint job, which is completely fine by me. I did the same thing with my 3rd gen 4runner, and it turned out great. As long as you are patient and take your time with it, you can still get pretty good results out of just using a rattle can. And I don't have a big enough air compressor to run a spray gun, so that's pretty much where we're at. I am going to try to get sanding complete tonight and then clean the truck up a bit, and then we'll probably jump into cutting some of these rust holes out of the truck. I went and grabbed some material tonight from Home Depot. It's a 22 gauge or 20 gauge weldable steel, same material that I used to tub the 3rd gen, so have a ton of confidence that that will do the job and just patching these little holes. I'm pretty happy with the sanding on the pillars and the roof. I definitely want to get a little bit heavier grit sandpaper and do some of these little channels around the windshield just to get a little bit more of that surface rust out of there. Honestly, none of it looks too bad. Nothing was like falling apart or chipping away when I was messing with it and sanding up there. So that makes me pretty happy. And then off film, I did a little bit of angle grinding up here, just kind of cleaning up some holes that were drilled in the bedside, and then some of the surface rust, just started to scrape some of it down to see how thin some of it was. And overall, it's not so bad. There's a couple spots, obviously, right here that have already gone through. So these will be getting chopped out, get a new little strip of steel in here, and then I'll weld all that in and clean it up. But there was quite a few that I had grinded down, and honestly, they're not through the body yet. This thing is 40 years old. It's never gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna chase my tail in circles and try to fix every little tiny rust spot on this truck. It's gonna get beat. It's gonna be driven on rocks. So yeah, I'm just gonna fix what I can, fix the big rust holes, and try to prevent, obviously, the ones that are eating the body away from spreading too much. Going to circle a couple of these little rust spots that I want to get chopped out of the truck real quick. Then I'll bust out the angle grinder, cut a couple holes in the body. That'll be full commitment once I do that. All right, guys, it is super cold. It's very late. I think I'm gonna call it for this video. I know it wasn't super productive, but I did get the entire truck sanded down, so I'm pretty happy about that. I started cutting some holes in the body, just getting some of the obvious rust holes chopped out. There's a couple spots that'll be pretty easy to patch up. Did some of the cab corners, did a little bit more cutting in the front and then on the passenger side, but it was pretty hard to film over there, so I just kind of went ahead and did my thing. There is a couple pieces of trim left on the truck, taillights, headlights, stuff like that. Yeah, probably just gonna rattle can it. That's what I did to the 3rd gen. And I have a lot of confidence that I can make it look pretty decent. As well as this thing's just gonna get beat up on rocks at some point or another anyways, so not super concerned with that. But I did get the axle picked up. The axle behind me is from a 2001 Tacoma from my buddy Jake up in Greeley. It's re-geared to 529s and has an e-locker in it. Has trail gear bash plate and stuff like that already on there, so that's super helpful. I'll be able to just swap that out, throw it under the truck, get that harness wired in, and we'll have a locker in the rear. It'll be sitting on the Chevy 63s that I have sitting in the back of the truck. I have 5125 Bilstein 14-inch travel shocks front and rear. Have a couple up on the wall back behind me, and then some in a box that I haven't opened just yet. I have parts flowing in. I still have to order a ton of stuff from Trail Gear. I need new shock towers in the front and a ton of other stuff. The goal is to get this thing running this month, get the engine swapped out, or just replace the head gasket in this one and give it some love. But I want to be able to drive it in and out of the garage, see what's salvageable on the truck and what absolutely needs to get taken off before I throw money into stuff that I don't need to. Lastly, I have the seats sitting back inside of the garage here. They're all dried up. I just got back from a 2-week trip back to the Midwest for Christmas. So obviously I didn't get a ton of stuff done on the truck within that time. I've been gone and then just got back yesterday, and yeah, just jumped straight back into it. But I have had some companies reaching out to me, and I got a couple products sent to me that I need to go out and do some basically review videos. I got a new camera, 12-volt camp refrigerator cooler. I got a couple new lights coming for the truck. So super excited. Got a couple different things to throw into some videos and go out on some trails. Have a ton of stuff that I need to get working on this week. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you next weekend.